Finding a pass rusher opposite Nick Bosa is going to be one of the 49ers' focuses this offseason, with free agency set to open up Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. The 49ers are actually rumored to be interested in obtaining Za'Darius Smith, who was with the Minnesota Vikings in 2022. Now, in order for that to happen, the Vikings are going to have to release Smith, or they're going to have to make a trade for him. Right now, most recently, we had Za'Darius Smith on Thursday putting out a thank you to Minnesota Vikings fans for their support, asking for his release from the Vikings. The Vikings have in return said, no, we're not going to release you. You'll be here with the team. This is an interesting thing to keep an eye on here. Smith is a very prolific pass rusher. He started off his career with the Baltimore Ravens, but he joined the Green Bay Packers in 2019, and that's where things really took off for him. In 2019 and 2020, 13 and a half sacks in 2019, 12 and a half in 2020. Then injuries set in, dealt with injuries throughout the 2021 season, and was only able to play one game. But he was able to make his return in 2022 with the Vikings. It was kind of an interesting deal with how he ended up with Minnesota to begin with. You may recall that during free agency, he had actually agreed to terms with the Baltimore Ravens before eventually backing out of that deal to sign a more lucrative deal with the Minnesota Vikings. Then, playing 16 games with Minnesota in 2022, Smith was able to rack up 10 sacks. So think about that for a second. Za'Darius Smith, 13 and a half sacks, 12 and a half, and 10 in 3 of the last 4 seasons. When he's been able to play, he's been a very productive player. If you're able to line that up opposite of Nick Bosa, that would make the 49ers pass rush one of the best in the NFL. Definitely something that the 49ers are looking to accomplish. They do have Drake Jackson. Not quite sure what he's going to become. Remember, the 49ers took him late in the 2022 draft in the second round. Had a strong start to the season with 3 sacks. Fell off as the year went along. He's going to have to build up his strength. Not quite sure where he's going to be. So a guy like Za'Darius Smith, though, if there is a way that they're able to work out, he's able to work out his release, it actually helps out the Minnesota Vikings, who are over the cap right now. If the Vikings were to release Za'Darius Smith, they would have a $12.2 million cap savings by doing that, and their dead cap would only be $3.3 million. So it behooves the Vikings in some ways to release Za'Darius Smith from when you look at the salary cap ramifications there. But a player of Smith's talents isn't somebody that you want to just let walk out your building, especially since you have him under contract. So again, I think that what you're seeing here is the Minnesota Vikings are going to try to get a trade, try to get something in return for Za'Darius Smith. So the 49ers don't really have a whole lot. They have 11 picks, but they don't have any in the first couple of rounds. Maybe a third or one of their fifths would be able to do the trick to bring Za'Darius Smith over to the 49ers. And that would be a big deal. Like I said, Smith has been very productive in his career, especially over the last 4 seasons, 13 and a half sacks in 19, 12 and a half in 2020, and then this past season with Minnesota, his first year there, 10 sacks. Adding that opposite Nick Bosa would really make this 49ers defense come alive. A 49ers defense that really is built from the front back. They really they focus on getting to the quarterback as one of their key points in free agency. So being able to obtain a guy like Za'Darius Smith would be fantastic for the 49ers. And as I mentioned, there are rumors that the 49ers are looking to obtain Smith if he becomes available and is able to actually get his release from the Minnesota Vikings. So there you have it. That's the latest 49ers rumor. Keep it locked in here to Inside the Farms with Jack Hammer for all your latest 49ers news, updates, and rumors as they happen. Take care, everybody. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.